Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly.
Well, welcome back to the DCL podcast, your podcast to help you cruise a little bit smarter. And today I want to welcome back to the show our co-host, Christy, over in Florida. How you doing, Christy?
I am well. How are you?
Doing good. So we're going to be talking about a topic today that we actually get a lot of requests to chat about. Some people love to cruise concierge. They do it every single time. Some people just like to hear, like myself, we like to hear what the others are doing, but we don't know if we'll ever be able to sail concierge ourselves. But aspirational for sure. But either way, I'm excited about today's episode.
I am too. So we're going to do this little mini-sode. This episode is going to be more specific to the Wish, because the Wish concierge is a different experience than on the other ships. So we have done a concierge episode in the past, a couple of them. You can, do your Googling, dclpodcast.com, concierge, and our other episodes will come up. But this one is going to be concierge specific to the Wish. And we have a guest with us.
We do. Rachel, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, welcome. Okay, so can I quickly just hear from each of you about what your cruises on the Wish were? Like, when did they happen? How many nights? What type of stateroom did you stay in? I know you were both concierge, but I'd love to hear some of the specifics. Why don't we start with you, Rachel?
So actually, I just got back this morning. We were on a 3-night cruise, and we were in a 1-bedroom concierge suite. Not the extended veranda, just the regular veranda. But the room was absolutely beautiful. Probably the best Disney room that I've ever stayed in, even at the parks, the hotels, resorts. It was so beautiful.
Ooh, so Christy and I toured this room, and I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like Tangled themed with like a beautiful mosaic over the bathtub.
Yeah.
And it had a little like bronze Pascal sitting over on one of the shelves.
Yeah, it was so cute. The mosaic was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was legit. We were both like, okay, can we stay in this room? And it's a 1-bedroom, so it's basically in the footprint of 2 veranda cabins, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty narrow. The living room is pretty narrow. My understanding is the Dream and the Fantasy 1-bedroom is a little bit wider, but the living room is pretty narrow. It has a table, and then it has a couch. It has 2 big flat screen TVs, and then the other portion of the cabin is basically where your bedroom is, and then the master bathroom. And there's two bathrooms too, both like full bathrooms with a shower too.
Are there 2 TVs in the living room?
1 TV in the living room.
Okay.
The other one is right on the other side of the wall where the bedroom is.
Okay, that makes sense. But I was like 2. So, and then I cruised a 3-night as well 2 weeks ago. So Labor Day weekend. And I was in a family concierge cabin. So a cabin that could sleep 5. It would be like the family veranda is what I should call it, because there is an ocean view now. So it's like one of the lead-in concierge cabins. So we talked about how I was in a family concierge cabin.
Right, which the family concierge is so similar to the typical veranda rooms, but some bonus accoutrements, like nicer furnishings, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so it's hard to say because the Wish is so new what is different about the 2 cabins, except that it does have the very cute stool for the vanity desk. So it has the tangled stool, it has the tangled carpet. And I think that and it has the Elemis products in the bathroom, but I think most of the other items within the cabin, like even the couch, is the same very uncomfortable couch, which is a difference. I mean, it's pretty, right? And the concierge one has gold flecks or something in it, but it's still the very same uncomfortable couch. But the difference is that on the Dream and the Fantasy in the concierge cabins, well, I think on all the other ships, the couch is an actual fold-out couch and actually one of the most comfortable couches you've ever sat on in your whole life. But on the Wish, it's the same couch everybody else has with that single bed that folds down from the top, if that makes sense.
Oh, with different fabrics.
Different fabric, yes. It's pretty, but still.
Yeah, that couch is not comfortable.
No, it's firm.
Yeah, it needed some pillows or something on it.
Yes. It is good for somebody who wants good support.
Now, on some of the other ships, the concierge cabins are all deluxe family sized. So they have the like bonus mattress or bonus space at the end. Is that true on the Wish or no?
Yes.
Okay.
The smallest is the deluxe family or is the family size.
Okay. So no matter what, you're getting slightly more space than a basic veranda.
Correct. And there is, though, an family ocean view concierge cabin. Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Which is gorgeous and beautiful. And it's right at the front of the ship. I think there's 2 of them. There might be more, but there's at least 2. And there's at least 2 in the very front of the ship. It's huge, too. So the extra space where the veranda in the regular size cabin is like an indoor seating area. It's gorgeous. I would say the only disadvantage or downside to that cabin is because it's all the way in the front, you're basically walking, because the concierge lounge is on the 12th floor. These cabins are on the 11th floor. You're basically walking all the way back through the hallway to the elevator and stair bank, going up the stairs and then coming back down the middle of the hallway to get to the concierge lounge. So it's a hike to get there.
Part of the thing I liked, we chose 12 because we wanted to have easy lounge access to the drinks. I don't think I would like that. So I would choose floor 12.
And that's what I always recommend and choose if somebody's sailing concierge, if it's available. If it's not available, then you can take floor 11. On the Dream and the Fantasy, the 11th floor concierge cabins are in that like enclosed like birdhouse because, it has to look pretty, or like, it's not a birdhouse, but like a greenhouse. It's like that glass. So you're sitting in that hot tank with the sun coming in on it. So something to just consider on the 11th deck, that their concierge or their balcony is a little bit different, but I don't think that's the case on the Wish. I believe they fixed that problem because nobody likes that.
The heat, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's glass above you, and then there's just like a little like window that you have open air, and then the bottom glass. It's very hard to explain, but somebody Google 11th floor concierge on the Dream, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I think I get it from my limited experience around those spaces. I do want to just confirm with you that all the concierge cabins on the Wish, with the exception of the multi-story penthouse princess suites and the Wish Tower suite, are themed to Tangled. Is that true?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, but then there is a Princess Aurora suite, and then there is a Princess
Briar Rose.
A Briar Rose suite, which is Sleeping Beauty? No, who's Briar Rose?
Yeah, she's Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. Wait, then who's Aurora? Isn't that Sleeping Beauty?
Yes, but different points in the movie, she's Briar Rose.
Oh my gosh. Well, look at me not knowing my Disney animated history, because I was like, what are you talking about?
And then you're forgetting 2 in the back of the ship. There's 2 one-story suites. I believe there's 2.
And they're concierge, but they're in the back?
Yes.
Oh.
So they would have a hike.
I would not recommend that unless
a pool deck.
Yeah, I would not recommend that unless you somehow got an upgrade for free.
Right.
Yeah.
That isn't. I mean, you would think there has to be something great about those cabins to sell them at the same rate as the other ones, right?
Well, so they're a little bit less because the 2-story royal suites cost more. and they have an aft view and like a big aft balcony. So there's something to be said about that, but it's very far from the lounge. Now you can get hot food delivered to your cabin in a 1-bedroom. The difference between a 1-bedroom and any of the 1-bedroom and up, and any of the family veranda cabins or family cabins for concierge, is that you can't get hot food delivered to your cabin except for the regular room service menu from concierge, unless you have a table. And then you can order from any of the sit-down restaurants to be delivered to your table. And if you have a royal suite or above, you can get Palo delivered to your cabin.
Which goals, right? Like,
right.
Can we have that, please?
Definitely thinking podcast cruise in the royal suite. We just have to win the lotto. We need a benefactor. We need, some fancy person to gift this experience to us, and we'll share it and have ourselves a fun little time, right?
Sounds about right to me. Okay. Now, we've talked about the rooms. I get them. The rooms are probably not the strongest selling point for why someone would consider doing concierge, unless you're in a 1-bedroom, because that is arguably a lot more space, right? Like, you are getting a lot more space to spread out. The one thing about cruise cabins is, if you've never been on a cruise ship before, undoubtedly when you open your stateroom door, you're like, what? Like, nobody's ever like opening their stateroom door being like, wow, it's so much bigger than I expected. But it is always a shock for people when they first sail how cramped the quarters are. And yet I do think you get over it super quick, because you realize, wow, the room is like exactly what I need for sleeping and for watching a movie if I want to do that. But it's not really something that I'm going to spend so much time in. But if I were concierge and I had a 1-bedroom, I might want to spend some more time in there, especially on a 3-night cruise. So can you tell me a little bit about just the utility of a 1-bedroom in concierge and how you feel that changes the way your cruise flows or works?
We didn't spend as much time as we should have in our room because of the lounge. That was beautiful.
All right.
But we did, we would bring snacks back to our room and watch a Disney movie and a drink, and we were right down the hall. So we did utilize our room more of like a meeting place and gathering place between my husband and I. And it was fun to watch movies. And then we also, like Christy mentioned too, that you can order room service from a main dining room in your room. We did that the first night, which was very easy to coordinate. So that was a huge perk. But the room was definitely nice to have the extra space for dining and snacks and drinking.
So I have a question. When you get into your cabin in concierge, they give you this beautiful printout because it's on the cute concierge paper. God, I love concierge stationery. Let me just say that. If I could have stolen a pack and used it to take notes at home, I would have. But so they give you this sheet of paper that kind of goes through the inclusions. In the 1-bedroom, Rachel, did it talk about delivery of food to your cabin? Was that on your offering sheet?
Yes. It says exclusive concierge room service menu for 1-bedroom suites. Continental and hot breakfast, 6 a.m. to 10:30, daily room service selection, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay. And so that's where it would say you could order from the restaurants or whatever.
Yes, but it doesn't really explain it to you. The only way you would know that is if you did your research ahead of time.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, on the Wish, even in the basic cabins, they don't have a room service menu. So you have to go hunt for it in the app. So
it's like they don't really necessarily want people to know it's there. Like, if you know it's there, you can utilize it.
We had a room service menu for concierge in our rooms.
And so when it says available from 11 to 8 p.m., is that just the basic room service menu? It's not, or is that coming from like one of the lunch offering restaurants or the dinner offering restaurants?
Yeah. Yes.
So you're getting like basically the food that is like the better food on the ship, but the convenience of having it delivered to your cabin.
Yes. Now,
I mean, bonus. I like that. Sounds nice.
Yes, but just a call out for anyone who is considering this. The Wish is brand new. You're going to want to experience all of the restaurants. You're going to want to see everything. I do not think a 1-bedroom is a good option, or even concierge really, for your first trip on the Wish, because you're tied. You're going to want to spend as much time as possible in the concierge lounge. So we didn't even do literally anything else on the Wish because we were in the concierge lounge the entire time. So you really need to take that into consideration if it's your first time on the Wish.
And I actually agree with that. We didn't do almost anything on the ship on my 3-night. I had obviously had the other 2 cruises on the Wish, so we had started to do the things, but it was just about that lounge. Like we didn't eat lunch in there. So we did eat, one day we ate lunch in the lounge and one day we ate lunch on the pool deck. But yeah, that lounge is so amazing.
Yeah. We didn't do literally anything else in the ship besides dinners. We never went to any other lounges besides the Star Wars lounge. So I really would consider like a non-concierge cruise for your first time on the Wish.
That makes sense. So you're talking about the lounge. I think that's a natural place to go to next. I'll just quickly say what I'm aware that the lounge offers, and then you all can unpack it. So the lounge offers a selection of light bites and hot a la carte menu items that will be available during breakfast hours, lunch hours, dinner hours, and dessert treats, which are available from 9 to 10 p.m.
The hot items are specific to the Wish. So the Wish actually has a galley that was placed in there. So they make food in their galley that's hot and fresh and to be served. But the other ships don't have that option. So
is that galley big enough for dietary restrictions?
I was able to eat from there.
All right, fascinating. I wonder where they fit it in, but that's cool.
It's pretty big. Like we watched them open both doors once, like on the last day, because they're real. They got all the doors. They're real, keeping it hidden, and it's large.
Cool. So
the menu is limited, though. The menu is limited, so it's not like they have to make a ton of food with special dietary restrictions. But
can you give me a sampling? What type of stuff could I get there? French fries and hot dogs, or is it like steak?
I can tell you what was on the afternoon menu. The afternoon menu is from 11 to 4:30. And just an example, there's goulash, gambas, pill, stuffed grilled vegetables, grilled chicken panini, all-American slider, and then one option for the kids, which this day was chicken pot pie.
And on our cruise, we also had a slider. Did you say slider?
Every single menu looked different to me, different offerings each day.
I had some kind of Cuban. I had a Cuban sandwich the one day. So it was hot. Yeah. It was like, it would have been in a panini, but they had to make mine differently. So I didn't have the panini press situation, but they still like smashed it and toasted it and did all the things. And then I believe I had sliders. Dave ordered me some stuff. I don't even know where I was, but I came back and he's like, I've got lunch for you. So yeah. What are the other options that you saw?
This is an evening menu. Menu is from 5 to 8. Lobster pasta, pan-seared scallops, brie and asparagus, southern buttermilk fried chicken, and then for kids, mini corn dog muffins.
Excuse me, southern fried chicken? That is the one thing that they never put on a main dining menu. And I am always so confused because like chicken and waffles or some sort of like super decadent fried chicken dish, because chicken schnitzel is not deep fried chicken, right? It is just not. And I want that. So I guess now I want to book Concierge on the Wish.
I mean, you do. Let me just say, Chris, you do. But
is it worth the extra money for the fried chicken? Probably not. But okay, there's a couple other perks in the lounge I want to just read off so folks know. Yeah.
Before we move on from the food, so there's these hot items that you can get and breakfast. They have hot breakfast items you can get as well. And there's a menu, but they'll basically make anything you ask them to for breakfast. It takes a minute, but they'll make whatever, which of course I noticed as with dietary restrictions, because they said, we'll make anything you want. They also will, because other people got it as well. But they have also like a cooler case where they have 4 shelves on 2 sides of this counter filled with like antipasti, cheese plates, just
sushi.
like, yeah. So tons of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. That sounds pretty legit. I also feel like cool that you don't clog up Marceline Market. Like, yeah. Honestly, though, I'm like, does this get crowded then? Like, do you go there and have to wait for your food because everyone in Concierge is taking advantage of the lounge?
Well, you wait for your food because they're making it fresh. And so that takes a minute. And then you wait for your drinks during happy hour at times. Like there's a rush, like at 5:00 when happy hour starts, it's filled with people.
I had a hard time getting served a server. We sat down at a table and no one came over there. I didn't even know that there was hot food that you could order until the middle of the second day because no one approached me and gave me a menu and asked if I wanted anything. So I thought it was kind of hard. The first night it was very hard to get a drink. The bartender passed me by 3 times before he got to me. So it does get really busy, but at certain times it also wasn't too busy.
I will say, so we did the math for the number of hosts that existed. This was Dave's department, of course, because he's math man. But the number of concierge cabins and the number of hosts on the original ships, on the previous 4 ships, versus the number of hosts and cabins on the Wish. And they are short at least 1 concierge host. So they have 4, whereas the other ships have 3, but they don't have enough. And on my cruise, somebody was sick. So, and on the first day, what do I mean by somebody was sick?
Yeah, like they got motion sick, or they were like COVID sick and they needed a host to help them.
No, the host was sick.
Oh, okay.
And unable to come to work. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were short that for that reason. And then one of the hosts had just arrived and had to go to training before, like, safety training and all this, before they could even start helping. I guess bad planning on Disney's part, because they shouldn't have released the other host until after, like the one that was leaving, until the one that was coming was available. So we were down 2 hosts. Now the training ended for that host, that concierge host, after the first day. So they were back. But that first day, nobody kind of knew what was going on. And I really think that because they're short-staffed, and this is let me just say, concierge is magical, but because they're short-staffed, you kind of have to know going in what the offerings are so that you can take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Especially because you're limited to 3 and 4 nights. So you don't have time to figure it out before it's gone.
And that's true too, because the concierge hosts don't have as much time to really get to know you like they would have on the original ships. So while this lounge is legit amazing, the best in the fleet, some portions of the concierge experience is better on the other ships.
Well, I think we can all agree that the treasure, I still have to get used to saying that, the treasure will likely sail those 7-night itineraries, which would be just all around a better experience in terms of taking advantage of getting to know the staff and, doing all of the fun stuff. Now, what I find interesting is that Disney Cruise Line gets knocked sometimes for not having things like alcohol packages or bonus food, like you can't eat a Palo every night or whatever. However, if I'm not mistaken, this is the closest you get to an alcohol package, because every night from 5 to 10 or whatever it is.
That is the time.
The 5 to 10, great. So every night from 5 to 10, you can just pop in and get unlimited drinks, right? Of whatever their type of alcohol is.
It's every type. So the Wish, on the other ships, they don't typically have a blender. And I don't know if this has changed, but their options are more limited. But this is a full bar, and they have everything. And if they don't have it, they literally run off. And before you even knew that they don't have it and that they're running off to find it, they're running off to find it. Now, Rachel, you drink high-end scotch or fancy stuff.
I like bourbon.
Bourbon. That's
old fashions. Yeah.
But we're talking like not top shelf stuff, right? We're talking
top shelf.
Like the best.
I mean, not like $100 shots, but
it sounds like I'm being like really praising of them, but it's also like, I mean, they should include that, right? This is a premium offering. They should offer premium drinks.
Like the wine is very nice that they offer. They have that Tattinger, like the special bottle
of champagne while it's still lasts.
They also have that Moet,
Veuve.
the ice one.
Ice, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's included. For those of you who are like, well, I don't drink alcohol, don't worry. They have you covered with bottled water, soft drinks, which I'm assuming come in cans, right? To make them feel more special.
Yeah, water comes in cans too.
Oh, right. Like aluminum Dasani.
Yeah.
And then milk and juice.
They'll also make you, so for up in the upstairs bar, and Rachel, you tried the smoothies. I know my husband had them too, but there's actually a bar in the upstairs concierge lounge, and which isn't always open, but they have 2 smoothie machines on that bar running like all day, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So someone could run up and get something off of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's included. They'll make you like a virgin strawberry daiquiri if you want. Or, with you, Chris, you liked your...
They would totally make my like virgin mojito because that's just muddling some mint with some berries. Yeah.
Yep. And they would absolutely make that.
Yeah. The smoothies were Dole Whip or pineapple, which tasted exactly like Dole Whip, and raspberry. So they were both very good.
And that was the same as what we had. Dave loved the raspberry.
And then specialty coffees, teas, and hot chocolate. Real quick on that. Is this just like included coffee, or is it like the same type of coffee you would at least be able to get at the Cove?
Like the $5,000 machine.
From the Cove.
Lattes, cappuccino. It had, what other flavors? It had flavors.
They had a flavored syrup. I don't think it's as good as the coffee you would get from the Cove, but it's very good for what it is. My husband loved the hot chocolate. He's not a coffee person, but I got lattes and those were delicious.
Yeah, that machine is great. But it's a machine, so there's no frothy. You're not frothing your own like they would at the Cove, right? Your own milk. So that is being done out of the machine. And you can add extra espresso in there. Like my recipe is making a latte and doing 1 extra shot of espresso in the same cup. And that's how I started my morning at the lounge.
So it's like bonus included coffee, but it's probably not as good as like a barista made cup of coffee. Or you think it is?
No, okay. I wouldn't say it is, but it's still very good.
I trust you, Rachel, more than
because she buys coffee and I don't buy coffee in the world.
Christy hasn't bought a cup of coffee in any of her 45 years.
That is not true.
I know.
Only buy it when it's absolutely necessary.
I know.
I have to refill my Starbucks card about 3 times a week. So there you go.
If I could, I would, but my husband would be on me. So, okay. I think that covers everything that's included in the lounge. We did talk a little bit about decor being like comfy, plush, nice. This is certainly a larger lounge. It has an upstairs, downstairs.
And it's huge.
Are there nice views out the windows? Are there windows? What's that like?
Yeah, this particular ship has windows. Do you want to describe it, Rachel?
So outside of the lounge, the food lounge, there's a sitting area and perfect, like great views of outside. Then you can go downstairs and that's where the sun deck is, which is absolutely beautiful. There's 2 hot tubs, which are the same exact size as the hot tub that's in the adult area, so you get 2 and there's only 1 hot tub for the entire ship. And then there's also a little waiting pool. There's so many different kinds of chair configurations that you can sit in. It is just an absolutely beautiful space. And on the Wish, that space is essential, in my opinion. It was probably that, and the drinks was my favorite part of Concierge on the Wish. It was just an incredible space.
I mean, it seems amazing.
It's so comfortable. Those chairs that they have up by like Currents Bar and like deck 13, those big, like round, comfy chairs, they have a handful of those up there.
Shade, there's so much shade. And I mean, I know this isn't a wish review, but my biggest critique about the Wish is the adult area. I'm not crazy about it. There's not a lot of shade. This is kind of like an upcharge to the adult area. There was really no kids in Concierge. So I personally think that it's worth it because of this extra space you get.
And there were kids. There was probably a dozen kids on the Labor Day cruise. So, which makes, it logically makes sense, right? There's the long weekend. Families are going to travel more. And in Concierge in general, there's less kids, but there's usually some kids.
Yeah, we had about maybe I saw like 8 kids the entire time.
In Concierge or on the ship?
Yeah, in Concierge.
Oh, I was like, wow, that's weird. Other things I'm noticing that are included are early access to the Walt Disney Theater for live Broadway-style shows. That is up to 45 minutes prior to the start of the show. You would see the concierge team and they'd take you an elevator down. Now, my one thought there is that if it's a brand new show, then those things would probably pack out and you would want to use that benefit. But I don't know that everyone would be like, I'm going to use this benefit and spend 45 minutes sitting in the theater waiting. Because it's not like they're giving you reserved concierge section of seating, right? It's just they let you go into the theater early to pick the seats you want.
Yes. And you don't have to go from the elevator with them. You can just pop around the side. They tell you where to go and you can just go there yourself and hang out with the other people. And what we did is we went in and we saw our Seas the Adventure show because, I love that show, and used the concierge ability to help us pick the seats we wanted. And then one of us would pop off to get popcorn, which is a concierge benefit, fresh popped popcorn anywhere on the ship. You can show your card and get it. If there is not a time and or you're lazy and don't feel like looking for the fresh popcorn, you can, in the lounge, they have bags of popcorn, like the same bags that they charge for like $4 on the room service menu for popcorn. They actually have hidden in a cupboard in the lounge, and you can get it that way as well.
And that's not just before show times. That's
anytime you want.
Okay. Which, funnily enough, on the little sheet they leave in your room, it says before showtime. But Disney is famous for telling you there's a limit to something, but there isn't actually a limit for it, and you could take advantage of it throughout your whole cruise.
Was the popcorn in the lounge freshly popped?
No, it's a bag.
So I think that's what they're meaning. It's the freshly popped because that only goes on before the shows.
I see. Okay.
But it works too in front of Luna. And by is the movie theater
Luna?
That's where they go for that too. Yeah. So it works there too. You literally, they don't even scan it. So you just show your card and then they give you popcorn.
Honestly, this is why I want to do a longer cruise. I think 3 and 4 night cruises on the Wish are just not for me because I sailed twice on that thing. So that means that I've been on the Wish 6 nights, maybe between 2 cruises, almost 7. 7 nights. Okay. So I've been on there. Oh, you're right. Because it was a 3 night. Yeah. So I've been on there 7 nights. So a week long. And in those entire time, I didn't see a movie in the Wonderland or Neverland theaters.
Yeah, because you're doing it right. Because you can see a movie in your house on Disney Plus.
No, but you can't see a movie in a house with Tinkerbell light fixtures or Cheshire Cat light fixtures and get Disney to pop you popcorn and stuff. So I don't think I'm doing it right. But the point is, there are so many offerings on these things that I think your point about concierge is well taken, that it's well, you're not going to get to do half the stuff that the Wish even has to offer if you do a 3 night. So you're really limiting yourself if you want to take advantage of the money you invested into Concierge and selling on this great, big, beautiful new ship. But I imagine a 7-night on the Treasure in Concierge would be like goals.
I can only imagine how much that would be.
Start saving now.
Yeah. So the other thing, I booked this 1-bedroom opening day, and the price is very reasonable. I checked the price for the exact same cruise next year, and it's around $1,000 more. So I think they realize that they underpriced.
Demand would be higher.
Yeah. So that's something to consider too. Really, it's how much different the price is from a regular room to a regular concierge. And then you kind of have to figure out if that is worth it for you.
And I even checked because I wanted to look at that DVC member cruise for next year. I was pricing out different cabins. Like if I were to just go into the world and buy a cabin in September, I priced out September and October in like a family veranda and a 1-bedroom next year on the Wish. And September, which would have been the rest of the summer pricing, was much cheaper even than October. So they are like, we can sell these concierge cabins. We are selling them out. Let's do that.
Yeah, they're just seeing how far that they can go and seeing what happens.
But they do, like the cabins get sold on holiday sailings on the original ships, and they're expensive over a holiday. So people like that space, and those people need to be our friends so they can take us with them.
Well, I'll never be able to do a 1-bedroom again because the price is outrageous.
Well, at least you got the experience. Had you already been on the Wish then? So you weren't trying to see it all?
No, we've already been on it. We were on it in July. So which was perfect planning on our part.
Wait, you weren't on the same one as us?
No.
Okay.
I was on the 3rd sailing of the
regular, and we were on the 4th. Well, there's one more thing listed here as a benefit, which is continuous basic surf internet package for everyone in your room who is over the age of 18, which is sort of actually very interesting to me. Do they not think that teenagers with cell phones might need a surf package? Maybe that is, I can't even think of why they would make that rule, but regardless.
Parent control thing, probably.
Yeah, maybe
so
it's probably they can't access the internet without their parents. I guess that makes sense. But that basic surf is not very good. So you would probably be upgrading if you actually wanted to have access to, because does the basic surf even include, it doesn't even include email, right?
No, it does. That was the one. You're thinking of the social media one, which is called something different, but the surf allows you to actually do that surf. So you can like go through websites and stuff like that.
You just can't like watch media heavy videos.
Exactly.
Which okay, that's fine. But you should be able to check your email for a concierge cabin.
But in a family veranda, I could only check my email for 24 hours. That took us a second of rereading it and going, wait a minute, that's 24 hours. Now on a 3-night cruise, which is really two nights, right? Like 2 24-hour periods, it's not that big a deal because my husband can have one and I can have one and we could toggle and log in and log out. But it's not, you get 24 hours. So Rachel, what did you get?
We got it for the entire cruise.
So the 1-bedroom gets more internet.
Yeah. Wait. You're saying you only get a 24-hour period?
Yeah. Per adult.
I thought it was like continuous.
I know.
Like for the whole cruise. Okay.
But on the other ships, you only get 100 megabytes or whatever that is. Is the other ship, even the 1-bedroom only gets 100? Yeah. So that's a huge benefit for the Wish, I think.
Except that in the Royal, on the other 4 ships, you get unlimited megabytes, I believe. Or maybe the $89 package. I'm not sure which of those two, which was like 1,000 megabytes or something. Why are we still talking in megabytes, right? and you said, right, Rachel, that the Royal Suites and above got
the premium. Yeah.
internet for the
entirety of the cruise.
Which like they should do that. Honestly, though, they should offer internet to everyone who is in Concierge for the length of their cruise. Like what a silly limitation. Like I could see them not offering premium because whatever
bandwidth,
but
blah, blah,
to
blah.
not offer internet as a part of your room when free internet is like a hotel amenity that is available at like your local Motel 6 just sort of feels confusing at the price point that people are paying for Concierge. So weird choice there, but Christy and I can attest, and it sounds like you can too, Rachel, that the internet is better on the Wish. It's not like nauseatingly slow or useless in the way that it has been on previous ships. Okay.
What was your favorite thing as we're wrapping up? What was your favorite thing about Concierge?
Well, it's either the alcohol or the space. And our first cruise, our bar tab at the end is probably like $1,000. So that alone was a huge benefit for us and really made the cost a little bit more affordable because we would have been spending that anyways. And the other thing is really the space. I personally think that space is key on the Wish because, we're two adults, no children. So to have that quiet space was really nice for us.
Do you mind answering how much your bar tab was on a 3-night when you had access to the Concierge happy hour?
We bought 1 drink at Hyperspace, 2 drinks on Castaway, 2 other bar drinks. So under $100.
So, and I bought 1 glass of wine at Palo, I think. I would have come with a drink to Palo. Yeah, I think I bought a glass of wine. And then I think I had 1 other drink. That's the other thing too. So they have Truly seltzer water or seltzer alcohol. And they have like the pineapple and the berry flavor that's everywhere. They'll give you, and they had them the first day. Oh, we didn't talk about this. On the first day in the lounge, there's beer, wine, and seltzer alcohol from boarding time until 4:00. And then the bar closes for an hour and then the full open bar occurs. But I'm just saying that you could go and say, can I have 2 Truly? And then maybe 1 ends up in your little fridge because they don't open it. And then maybe you can drink it later. The same with some sort of beer or something like that. So something to keep in mind. So we did do that.
They really should have like open bar, at least like beer, wine, and alcohol, like lunchtime too. Again, for the price you're paying, I don't think that would harm them to have like an hour of open bar.
I mean, honestly, though, I can't imagine not just at least doing like pre-bottled things that someone just has to reach into a fridge and grab for you. Right. But it sounds like that there are ways to make Concierge more worth it if you take advantage of all the amenities. And that is the theme I'm taking away. Don't stay in Concierge unless you plan on living in Concierge. that whole cruise, which makes sense to me.
Unless you have unlimited money that it doesn't harm you, then you should be booking Concierge every single time.
Sure.
But for most of our listeners, it'll be a treat.
Right. Well, honestly, it sounds amazing. It sounds like in most ways, Concierge on the Wish is an improvement, at least in a lot of ways. So that's exciting to hear. And I think our listeners will be excited to hear that. I can't wait to see what things they change for the Treasure. But thank you so much, both of you, for coming on and sharing your experiences in Concierge with our listeners.
One quick little lightning, if you will. What was your favorite thing to drink in Concierge, Rachel?
I was just ordering old fashions. So
okay. Which is a savings because those in the real world are pricey.
Yeah. So, we were taking advantage of all of it.
Oh, that's great. Chris, thanks for hosting us.
Yeah, thanks for telling me about all the things that I haven't ever experienced, but I want to.
You do want to.
Yeah.
You just need to win the lotto. I mean, is that too much to ask? I don't think it is.
It isn't. I mean, if I ever win the jackpot on the bingo, I'll book a concierge cruise. That's more obtainable.
One of my clients did. One of our listeners, the week before my cruise, won the jackpot bingo.
That's
$6,000.
Wow.
So good for him. Rachel, thank you for coming on. Let everybody know where we can find you. You have a pretty good Instagram account. So where can people find you?
Yes, I'm mostly active on Instagram. My handle on Instagram is Rachel, Rachel, goes to Disney.
Yeah, follow along, especially if you like to see new merch or recommendations for dining. She does it all. She does the Halloween parties. So I enjoy it because I get like a good update on what is happening around Walt Disney World. Yeah.
Thank you.
As a local, she goes there a lot.
Yes, it's one of my happy places besides cruising.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on.
No problem.
The DCL podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.